best goal I ever scored was such a simple goal. The drill that we did with Dan, the side foot from you cut inside and you bend it, yeah, and we did it over there, was a Champions League game against Lazio for Leeds when I was 18 years old. And it's something that you could have all scored it, your parents could have all scored it, but I worked on it when I was a kid, when I was your age, yeah? And as I was just saying to the boys then previously, not much changes in football as you get older other than the situation, the circumstance, and obviously the arenas that you're playing. And if you can work on the technique when there's no opposition, when you put opposition in, it's still exactly the same. When you're in possession of a football, you dictate what happens, yeah? I was in a situation playing in the Olympic Stadium in Rome in front of 100,000 people, and it was like I was a 10-year-old boy and ball drops to you, and you just do whatever comes natural to you. If you go and watch it on YouTube, you'll think, why is that your favourite goal? But it was so simple, yeah, but it was something that for me, as I say, I did it when I was a young kid, so when you put it into a different circumstance and a different situation, it's still exactly the same technique as it was when I was your age, and it was when I was playing in a Champions League game. So that is my favourite goal. And it was so simple, but it was something that meant a lot to me because it reminded me of, like I say, when I was a kid in this type of environment, growing up, wanting to score goals. And it was on a bigger stage, obviously in the Champions League, which is a great occasion, but it's still my favourite just because of the simplicity of the goal. Yes, young man?
What's the best game you ever played?
The best game I ever played in was for Manchester United against Roma in the Champions League quarter-final at Old Trafford. We beat Roma, who at the time was a great team. We won 7-1 on that night. It was probably the best team performance I've ever been involved in. Sir Alex Ferguson said it was the best European performance he's ever seen from one of his teams, which you think about the great teams that he's had over the years. It was a privilege for me to be a part of it. I scored the second goal, and it was my first game back after being injured for over 16 months, which for me was a big thing. It changed my outlook on soccer, it changed my outlook on life in general. I was injured against Liverpool in the FA Cup, 6th round at Anfield, and my career would touch and go whether I'd carry on playing. I had 16 months of rehabilitation, training day in, day out to try and get back fit, to try and stay involved in football because it's something that, or soccer, sorry, it's something that I've always loved from being a young kid. And that changed my outlook on life, and probably a reason why I like doing this kind of stuff, because I'd love anybody who wants to be involved in soccer at any level to stay involved in it for as long as possible. I started playing as a kid at Leeds United, as Baz touched upon there. If I told you kids are going to leave school and earn $40 a week for 2 years, I think you'd all look at me and go, we're not sure they want to do that. But that's what I did. That's what I did, and it wasn't even a question. As soon as someone comes with a piece of paper and says sign your life away for 2 years, even though you're earning less than minimum wage, you just say, yeah, where do I sign? Because that's always a dream that I had and what I wanted to do. And my theory was I can go to school afterwards if it all fails, but I wanted to dictate and dedicate my life to trying to be a professional soccer player. And I was fortunate enough, like I say, to play for the last 22 years with some of the greatest players in the world. And I know some of the lads touched upon some of the players that I've managed to play with and against. Some of the greatest players in the world, and obviously some big names that you'll all know. Yes, young man.